Hi, welcome to another episode of the series Before You Buy, where I check out new games without any unnecessary chatter and give you my first impressions exactly as they are. Today we're going to take a look at Saros, the latest release from House Mark, a studio you might know from games like Returnal or earlier, Resogun. What makes Saros interesting to me is mainly that it combines what this studio used to do with what they learned from Returnal. Here you have high difficulty, really intense action, but at the same time that arcade feeling that keeps you coming back to play again and again. And honestly, Saros grabbed me much faster than say Returnal. Just to be clear, I played this on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and everything you see on the screen is spoiler free. Some bosses have to be there, but I won't ruin the story for you. Speaking of Returnal, a lot of people will want to compare the two, and it makes sense. But for me, Saros works a bit differently. It's still a tough game. It still punishes you for mistakes, but it doesn't feel like it's needlessly throwing obstacles in your way. It has a better pace and motivated me more to keep going, even when I died several times in a row. Story-wise, you play as Arjun Devraya, who is part of some kind of space organization and finds himself on an alien planet where something very bad is happening. It all starts off quite mysteriously. You're there. You know you have some kind of mission, but the game doesn't tell you directly. What's interesting is that every time you die, you come back to life, but in the meantime, some time has passed. And this is actually the core mechanic the whole thing is built on. The story unfolds gradually. You have cutscenes, dialogues, logs, everything is kind of given to you in doses. It's not overdone, but at the same time it manages to keep your attention. Sometimes it might even be a bit too vague, but for me personally that just made me want to keep going. What I really have to praise is the atmosphere. The world feels brutally hostile. Everything is strange, dangerous, and at the same time incredibly intriguing. And the main character really has personality. They're not just some empty shell, but now for the main thing, the gameplay. Saros is an action game where you're always moving, always shooting, always reacting. It's fast, aggressive, and sometimes even chaotic, but in a good way. Once you get into it, you feel completely unstoppable. Mechanically, it works so that you have a dash, a shield, and various abilities. Enemies send projectiles of different colors at you, and you have to react to them correctly. Some things you can dash through, some you can absorb, and some you have to block. And this system is incredibly satisfying. It's not just about aiming, but about having to think and react within a split second. Gradually, you unlock more abilities that expand it even further. I won't spoil anything, but some of the mechanics are really top-notch and make you feel like you're turning from an ordinary player into a total machine. Weapons are another big chapter. You start with simple ones, but gradually you get to much more interesting pieces. Each one has an alternate firing mode that changes the way you play, and what's important is that none of the weapons felt outright bad to me. Some are situational, but all of them make sense. When you die, you return back to the base. There, you can invest in the skill tree and gradually improve. It's not like you start completely from scratch, which is a big plus. The progress is slow, but noticeable. Every small upgrade helps you survive a bit longer, and the game pushes you to try again, because you know that this time you're just a little bit stronger. An interesting mechanic is also something like a risk system where you can adjust the difficulty before you go for another attempt. You can help yourself, but always at the cost of some disadvantage. So you actually set for yourself how much you want to risk. And I think this works really well. The difficulty is generally high. This isn't a game you'll beat on your first try. You will die. A lot. But at the same time you feel like it's not unfair. When you make a mistake, you know why. And when you manage to succeed, you really get a good feeling from it. As for the technical side, the game runs smoothly, looks great, and the art style is really strong. The locations are huge, detailed, and feel truly different from most sci-fi games. The bosses are a chapter of their own. Each one is different, has its own mechanics, and forces you to adapt. And some of the fights are really brutal. If I had to mention any negatives, the story could have been a bit more specific. Sometimes it's a bit too vague, and occasionally you get the feeling that some situations repeat themselves a little. But honestly, the main strength of the game is the gameplay, and that carries it without any problems. So, the final verdict, Saros is a tough, intense, and addictive game that will reward you if you give it time. It's not for everyone. If you don't like challenging games, you're going to struggle with this one. But if you like a challenge and want something that really pulls you in and won't let go, Saros is a very strong contender. For me personally, it's definitely worth it. Now I'm interested in your opinion. Have you tried Saros, or are you not interested in this type of game at all? Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you, give it a like. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.